Welcome to the Biz Show, sponsored by InvestQuire. And now, your hosts, Barry and Lisa.
Well, how's Barry today?
I'm doing fine. And how you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing great. It's almost Memorial Day weekend.
This year's just passing by, isn't it?
You know, by the time we air this, I think it will be Memorial Day.
It'll be it comes out on Memorial Day, doesn't it? Isn't
So
Memorial
should we
Day actually on
say
Monday?
Happy Memorial Day to everybody, and thank you for your service, Barry.
Well, yeah, sure. That would be Veterans Day for me because I'm still alive. Memorial Day is for those ones who didn't make it.
We were just talking about health issues before we got on air.
We did.
Please stay alive.
Yes, everybody, please stay alive. You too, Lisa, including
Staying
you.
alive. Staying alive.
All right, no Bee Gees here.
I love the Bee Gees.
Hey, welcome to the Biz Show, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And today we got a very interesting topic. We are going to start talking about the imposter syndrome.
I don't know why that makes me laugh.
Well, you know, it's funny. Everybody has it, right? Nobody really admits to it, but they do. I've talked to many CEOs, many vice presidents, business owners, and stuff like that. Everybody has the imposter syndrome. To what level kind of depends.
Right. We don't only do it in business, but we do it in our personal lives, right?
Yeah.
And social media plays a big part in that. So I do feel a little bit bad for the kids are growing up in this day and time.
It does because, you know, social media, people look and see what other people are doing. And guess what?
It makes you feel like you have to compete.
Yes, exactly.
Now in business, competition is good.
Well, it is. It's healthy.
Yeah.
Because it forces you to continue on and do stuff. But at what level, you know, do you become an imposter?
It's important to do a check-in, right?
Yes, definitely so. And so on this episode, we're going to talk about that, right? We're going to talk about the imposter syndrome. We're going to talk about, you know, first-time business owners, seasoned entrepreneurs, CEOs, vice presidents, you name it. Everybody
at some point in time
is going to feel that. I felt it myself. The first time I became a CEO,
right?
I was a CEO. This company had about 100 employees. I got to my office. I walked in. I shut the door behind me. I went, oh, shoot. What did I just do? How did I get here?
Really? It's such a weird feeling. It's almost an outer body experience. I remember driving in my Suburban down Highway 4 up in NorCal, and I was thinking, how in the world did I create this life? I had so much wealth and freedom at my fingertips. It was like insane. And I felt too young to have had that success.
You don't feel like you're deserving. And that's part of that syndrome, right?
I wasn't aligning with it. It just was so overwhelming, but so blessed.
It depends how people take success. And, you know, and we'll talk about this a little later, but it's really not a destination. It's a journey. It's the journey, right?
Right.
And, you know, so for me, it was like when I shut that door and I was in my office by myself, I'm like, wow, what did I really do this? And then I started thinking about all the lives that are in my hands. And I'm now responsible for 100 people's, 100 families, and making sure that this thing stays on track so that everybody keeps their jobs, so on and so forth. And we did great. We sold the business and we made a lot of money.
That's
And then the employees got to stay there and keep going because it was a computer company way back in the day. And so, you know,
I think that stress makes you feel like you have to live up to this like external view of yourself or like your role that you're playing. And that is, you know, ties into the imposter syndrome, right?
Yes, exactly. Well, let's talk about what is the imposter syndrome.
It's a psychological pattern.
It is. You know, it's basically feelings of self-doubt, right? And a sense of inadequacy.
Like, am I good enough? Am I really doing a good job?
Yeah. And
it's that voice in your head, that self-talk.
It is self-talk. It's your mind, you know, I guess it's, you know, you have the two little angel and the devil on your shoulders, and they're just talking back and forth, and you're in the middle of the conversation.
Great. No, I'm not. I'm doing great. Oh my God, that client hates me. It's just a back and forth, right?
It is.
It's definitely something that happens to everybody in every level of your journey in your professional world.
You know, I can't preface this enough. This happens to everybody.
The person sitting across the table from you is going through it as well. We're all in the boat together.
I've read past articles and I've seen interviews of these people. Bill Gates, he had this, right? Mm-hmm. Barbara Cochran. She actually
people that we look up to.
People that we sit there and go, wow, they have it going on. They got everything.
Yeah.
But guess what? They are in the same shoes you were.
They're still human. They still breathe. They have a heartbeat.
Exactly.
And their psychological minds work similarly as all of us.
So go ahead.
Fear of being exposed makes you feel like you might be a fraud, that you really aren't what you are portraying to be.
True. So we're going to talk about the symptoms, right? And this is one of the symptoms, the thinking you're a fraud, right? The next one is professionalism.
Right.
And you know, is that bar high enough? Can you meet that bar? Yes.
I think you said professionalism.
I did say professionalism.
Let's hope everybody's being professional.
Yes.
While they're being
everybody please be professional out there.
We just had
perfectionism.
A video you showed me of somebody that
no, don't even go there.
Far from professional.
Don't even go there.
And far from perfect.
Yes, definitely.
But perfectionism, yeah. Oh my gosh.
You know, the bar could be raised high. I'm a perfectionist, right? And you know me, Lise. I'm very detail orientated, right?
Yes,
if you ask me, you know, what something is, I'm going to give you a whole dissertation on it. I'm going to write a report. I'm going to hand it to you. I don't, because I'm a sponge. I love learning stuff.
I feel like you're not being thorough.
And I want to make sure I cross every T and dot every I, right? And in business, I've done that for a long time, and it's served me well.
And it's not a bad thing. It means that you have high standards.
Yes, it does.
Everything that we're mentioning doesn't mean do not do this or do not be this way. We're actually saying that this is just a real thing.
Yes, it is. It's a psychological thing, again, as you mentioned at the top of this episode, and everybody's got it.
And so then another symptom of being an imposter is always comparing. So you may go to work and you'd be like, oh, my colleague is getting more notoriety than I am. His project that he turned in got more acknowledgement and more success and results than what you did and how you performed in a similar task. And so we're always comparing.
We are. And, you know, social media's got a lot to play with that, right? Because you see what other people do. They put their things that they're doing out there. You look at it and go, oh, wow, I did that, but I only did half of that. So now I'm below them, or whatever case. So the comparing part is really a big factor in this.
Just remember to check your self-talk so you're not putting yourself down while you're comparing.
You know, last time I had a self-talk, my other self just yelled at me.
Oh no, is that like a Sybil moment or what?
I guess, you know, I don't know how many personalities I have, but...
And so that leads us to this symptom of discounting your achievements, but you should definitely have a recognition for yourself and your achievements that you've made along the way. So definitely congratulate yourself, right?
Yeah, you know, this is the biggest one of all of them that really is, you know, if I'm going to put weight to these, this one holds a lot of weight because people discount their achievements and they forget about them, right?
Because they're comparing themselves to other people.
Yeah, we'll talk about this as we go for the strategies, but just remember this. You got to where you are for certain things that you've done along the way, right?
So recognize them.
So exactly.
Praise yourself. Remember them when you are comparing yourself to your colleagues.
You shouldn't downplay your successes, right?
No.
And you know, I'll talk about that when we get to the next part of it, right? But
I remember, like similarly, or like an analogy for me would be raising children. So you want them to go out in the world and be confident
and never come back.
So I remember I never have to come back. Yeah. And then,
well, after they turn a certain age, right?
Yeah. Then you're like, oh, you know, come back home and visit me. But yeah, I would send them out, you know, for their day before school. And I would say, you're great. You know, you're like Derek Jeter. You're a rock star. You're going to do great in your test today. And just always like fill their minds with something positive. So
you are a positive person. You always have been. I've known you for 20 years and you're that way. You're even that way to me.
I know. Thank you.
But that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. And the thing that Lisa's trying to say is you need to say that to yourself.
Yes.
Right? So that you can get rid of that self-doubt.
Right. So why does it continue, even though we do correct ourselves, or even though we do praise ourselves and we do have moments of reflection? Why does it continue?
Well, critical thinking is a big thing, right? So the people are critical thinkers, right? They're always, when you have a choice to go critical on yourself or positive on yourself, everyone's going to look at this because you've always heard, how can I do better? Okay, I've done this, but now how do I go better? Even if it was successful and you blew the socks off of everybody, how can I do better?
But also maybe because money is tied to it, so the financial aspect of it maybe is really where you downplay your successes.
Could very well be. Absolutely.
And you could be doing great in your job, but you're having this struggle with you're not earning enough money, or maybe your spouse or partner is also giving you that, that complex, if you will. I think for men, back to the early times, you guys carry all of that weight on your shoulders, right?
You just brought up something that just popped in my head, right? Back in older days, we used to have a single income family, and that single income family could survive and thrive. And in today's society, you can't in a single income family unless you are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I just read and I just saw on the news, in order to be and to afford a home in the state of California, you have to make a minimum of 237,000 is what I saw.
Yes.
You have to make that an annual income.
Right. That a minimum.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so hard for our kids to buy real estate these days.
Real estate is a tough thing. And I think we need to probably rethink it. Maybe we need to restart financing homes over 100 years instead of 30 years or something. Oh my
God, that would be more affordable for sure.
It wouldn't it though?
Yeah.
Double that so that you can get longer loans.
Which, brings you back to the relentless pursuit of having the perfect outcome and the perfect results. And then when you think of, maybe, grading yourself in terms of results or the outcome of the life that you want to live, that's where you get really hard on yourself and you feel like you're not perfect enough.
Yes. I've had good days and I've had bad days, honestly. And I still do today, right?
Yeah.
I'm working on some material, whether it's a marketing document, whether it's financials or whatever. And I'm just like, man, let's redo it because I don't like the way that looks or whatever, right?
Right.
So it was probably fine the way it was.
I was talking to a girlfriend today while I was at the gym, and she was talking to me about getting her taxes done. And she's just like really hard on herself. She really is an achiever, and she's very good with her financial accounting and budgeting and making her money stretch. She's a single mom like I am, and she has 3 businesses, and it took the CPA to congratulate her and tell her, wow, you've come a long way over the past couple of years, and you should be very much proud of yourself and congratulate yourself on your successes. And it took an outsider that's not in her sphere of influence to tell her that she's doing great and she's got great things ahead. And I just remember listening to her say that, and I was like, wow, we are so hard on ourselves.
We are.
Like, we think we're not good enough. We think we're not doing enough.
I got a question.
And she does 3 businesses and has been raising her grandchildren.
And when was April 15th? It was last month, right?
Right.
So she's a little late.
Doing an extension, I think. But we all have extensions every now and then, right?
I've had an extension. I got one
Better
too.
than not filing. And I know a lot of people that don't file. So
I'm expecting to get money back. Maybe only a few dollars, but I had to file an extension myself.
Yes, me too.
Well, perfectionism.
We're not perfect. That's why we had to file.
We are not perfect. So but these are the factors, right? Contributing factors.
Yeah, social expectations of your successes, like we talked about. It could be your spouse. It could be people in social media that you feel like you're not measuring up to.
Right.
And you have those pressures of portraying that confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and just the confidence gap, right? In regards to, again, the self-doubt.
Yep.
So let's drill down. How can you combat these? What are the strategies for overcoming this?
Well, and being a life coach, it's all about affirmations and reframing your self-talk.
Yes. And the self-talk is, you're the life coach. So tell me about that, right? It's about saying
Switching
positive
the patterns
things
in your mind that maybe, happened from early on, from being in grade school, or the way that your parents spoke to you. We have these ways of talking to ourselves that were drilled in and ingrained in us at a very young age. And so it's just basically recognizing your skills and achievements every single day, and maybe making a list or doing a journal and saying, oh, I did 5 things that were great today, and focusing on those things instead of the competition or what your colleague did that could be better than you, and just knowing that every little step that you make, congratulate yourself for it,
that you're capable and that you have achieved things, right?
I think you mentioned something like talk back to the devil on your shoulder.
Yes. Well,
That is so true.
It is. And I've always done what I call myself, and I don't know if it's a real term or not, but I always refer to something as PMA, positive mental attitude, right? And I've always told myself, okay, change your PMA, right? You got to have a positive mental attitude. And so let's take a look at the positive side of this instead of the negative side. Because if I look at the negative side on something, I'm never going to be satisfied with it.
You can always switch everything around. There's always a silver lining.
So back in business, there's something I mentioned this last podcast, I think, about the MVP, right? The minimum viable product that you can sell. And 100% of the product is what you want to get out. But when do you release it, right? You release it at 20%, you release it at 40%. It's not all the way there. It's not perfect, but you're going to release it because it's going to start generating revenue.
And you learn from the release. You learn from the errors maybe with it that you can improve it for the next go.
You said the exact words
so you
that I was thinking
afraid.
about.
So many people are afraid to start, and they want to perfect everything before they even start. I'm like,
Yes.
The only way you're going to learn is by doing.
Exactly.
Right? Fail forward.
Exactly. So also the other thing is focus
is the journey.
On the journey.
And you're going to have failures. And we've talked about this in other
I've said this
podcasts.
so many times, right? But here's the deal. Okay, so focus on what's in front of you. So you should sit down and you should have a plan, right? Plan A to Z. And just know that plan is going to change along the way. But if you're on A, don't be looking out at Z. Hell, don't even be looking at D, right? Focus on B. B's the next step. That's the next step that you need to get to, right? So
and learn from the A and the preceding event.
Yes.
Because then you could always make yourself become better or do better or produce a better product. If you look at the last product and say, oh, how can I improve upon it? That is really an intelligent way to run your business.
Yes, it is. And if you go that route, you might even be able to, I don't want to say this bad in a bad sense, but you might even be able to skip some steps because you realize some of those steps don't matter.
Right, exactly.
Right? Though that was in your plan, but again, you're going to change your plan. And so, hey, guess what? Step L and M, I don't need those.
Exactly.
Move on.
Yes, definitely.
So, one step at a time, right? The next one is embrace the learning process. And this is something I've done. I read and I learn. I'm a sponge, right? I have my post-secondary teaching credentials. I taught computer science. I taught business 101. But still today, I learn, I read, I study. I'm just a sponge for information.
Right. You want more and more and more.
I do, because I don't feel like I've had enough, right? So there's the negative side of it, but
it's out
I have
there
a quest for
so
knowledge.
Readily available now at our fingertips with all of our tablets and phones and computers that we carry around with us all day. So it's really endless and limitless.
You're right. I remember growing up.
You used to have books.
I
Barry.
used to have encyclopedias. My parents
Don't you
bought
miss
me
the smell of a book?
encyclopedias.
Oh my gosh.
I do. My wife, she reads books every night. I read books too, but I also have a
admire
tablet.
that. I love
She
when
says she
people
likes
open
to
up a
hold the
book.
book in her hand.
My daughter loves it too. She used to walk around with those big, huge, thick Harry Potter books when she was like 6. She'd walk around and bump into walls holding it. Danielle loved Harry Potter so much. We had all the Harry Potter books.
Oh, no.
But yeah, reading is definitely essential to learning, right?
Those
And
are big
expanding
books
your
too.
visions.
Yes,
It really
is.
creates imagination.
But that really takes us to the next part, right? Find your support group or system.
Oh, yeah.
And that are coaches and mentors,
And
right?
you grow out of some people too. I mean, some people aren't growing at the rate that you are. So I always say be the small fish in a big pond, because then you can elevate yourself and learn from the big guys, right?
Right. Well, you grow in that pond, and then you got to hop in another pond,
Yeah.
right? So at some
Right.
point, you got to become a salamander, scurry across land, and hop into the next pond and become a fish
Or a
again.
salmon swimming upstream.
Yeah. But no, And you are the perfect example of this, right? You're a life coach, and CEOs, vice presidents, everybody should have a mentor and a coach, somebody who knows them, somebody who understands where they're heading, and then somebody that they're not going to guide them, but they're just going to take care of, because they probably can't guide them
and help keep you positive.
Exactly.
So
well, and keep you on
deal
track.
With that daily self-talk. It's good to have a coach feed you back what you're doing, so you can create the habits to recognize your successes and things that you may not naturally do.
True.
And somebody to hold you accountable. Mentors. Right?
There you go. Right.
And when you are in a corporation, hopefully you have bosses and systems in place at your corporation that are doing that for you. On the daily.
The first time I ever got a coach, I was a CEO, and I had a few CEO friends, and I was looking for a coach. Mm-hmm. And so one of my CEO friends says, hey, I use this guy as a coach. Check him out. So I reached out to him, and then this person became my coach. And I got to be honest, I was just surprised to learn they have a coach.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right? Everybody, no matter what level you are, needs to have somebody to coach you. Because here's the thing, right? Think about this. Your friends hold you back, right? How many times have you wanted to do something? That's never going to work or whatever, right?
Right. Or they may want to selfishly, absorb your time.
They want to keep you where you're at. They're comfortable with you being in that little box, in that little zone right next to them.
Right.
And if you catapult out and you're in the next level.
Because they think they're going to lose you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you definitely want to have an awareness around the people that you associate with, like birds of a feather flock together.
Right.
And I always love to bring, I'm not judgmental of people. So any walks of life, I love to bring them along or enlighten them. It could be just one conversation of somebody that you met, in the grocery store line. But if you enlighten somebody, then you're really doing what you're supposed to be doing here on this earth, right? Paying it forward, teaching.
I've always tried to do that. I try to live by that, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it works out well. Like, you're at the grocery store and there's a guy that needs some money, so you give him some money, and then next thing you see him walking around with a bottle of whiskey. You're like, oh, well, that didn't work out.
Right.
But then there's other times that you give him that money, and then, when you come back out of the store, you see him eating a cheeseburger or a hamburger. Like, okay, good, I fed that person.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So
that feels good, right?
It does feel good. And, that's an important thing. But coaches and mentors, they need to be part of your process.
Well, think about it. When you go to the gym and you have a trainer, training you on your physical appearance, and they're looking really fit, then you know that they must have a trainer or a coach.
Yeah.
Or they've learned their skills from somebody, right? How to work out and how to maintain their body image and their weight and create a healthy lifestyle. So we don't get to see how people are coaching the inside of their minds, but life coaches and business productivity coaches are so valuable.
People look and see and judge from the outside. They don't really see the inside too much. Yeah.
Coaches need coaches.
So the other thing is celebrate your wins, right? Mm-hmm. And how do we do that? So we mentioned, right, that it's a journey, not the destination. And you need to celebrate your wins. Here's what I do. I actually write down, I have a list.
Good to have visuals.
Yes.
Like a whiteboard or a vision board.
I have it in my Evernote. I use Evernote.
Yeah.
And I love Evernote because this is not an advertisement for them. But
but you list it in there like a journal.
Well, yeah, Evernote is kind of like OneNote, Evernote. There's a couple other products out there too, right? And it's an assistant, so to speak. I can put, as you say, journal. I can put task. I can just put a note, and that's what I do a lot. But I'll put all my successes on one side, all my failures on the other side. And my goal is not to have my successes be 10 and my failures be 1. It's to be balanced, right? Because as I've said this many times, you can't have success without failure, right? The two go hand in hand. So just to balance that out, it'd be great for a 70-30, 60-40. That would be a great balance for those.
Oh, yeah. I'd really want 80-20.
I would want that too, But I'm realistic, right?
You're being realistic.
And you should be realistic, and that's what this is all about here, right? This is about the imposter the imposter syndrome, and
being
realistic on what your goals are, and just know that you're going to have those failures, and that's okay. But celebrate your successes. You might not celebrate your failures.
Well, that's the next thing, because we want you to practice self-compassion. So in order to fail forward, you really need to be self-compassionate on your failures. Like, you really need to actually embrace what happened and not just skim over it, because it's a learning lesson. Like, you need to learn and fail forward. And the only way to do that is to have
I
self-compassion.
like that. I like failing forward.
Yeah.
Because that turns into success.
Well, it's like, if, even if you're in an argument with somebody and you hurt somebody's feelings, it's like, have compassion for, what just happened, and then learn from it.
Yeah.
And do better next time.
Like
some people say, don't apologize to me, just do better.
Yeah, this is true. I've said that to many employees in the past. It's like, look, and I tell them at the very beginning, look, you're going to have failures. Okay, I get that, and we'll work through those together. Let's focus on how do we get to the next step. If you're working on a project, what is that next step, and then how do we get there?
But you may stay stuck in the imposter syndrome if you're not recognizing the failures, right? Because you're always just trying to achieve for perfection, but really not learning anything along the way. Those are the people, like, you really need to cut.
That's where somebody fell after fail after fail. They keep trying the same thing, and it's like they're banging their head on the wall.
And
it's
they're
like,
really not willing to listen or learn.
At some point, you're going to
coachable.
get a concussion, right? Focus on your contributions and definitely the things that you've done. As you mentioned, write them down.
Take an inventory.
And I've used, as I said, Evernote. I've also used a spreadsheet, because the spreadsheet can just keep going and going and going and going, right? And over 20 years, I've done this.
On a spreadsheet?
No.
Oh.
If I would have done this over 20 years, that spreadsheet would probably be very, very, very long.
Oh my gosh.
So, but here's the one, and we talked about this, and we hear this one all the time. And what is it?
Well, one of my coaches, Rick Jiha, would say, fake it till you make it. You open
But you know what?
your life up to this job called real estate, and you don't know nothing about it. Fake it till you make it. And I'll never forget that.
Our last guest that we had on the podcast, right? Brand new real estate agent. They had their first sale. Yeah, they might want to make it till they, or fake it till they make it, right? But they made it.
Yeah, Anthony Manifold. Yeah, he did great. Remember seeing him at the open house, and he did a fabulous job.
But honestly, what that really means is this. Just go about your business. Just do the things that you do. Do it with confidence, right? Do it proudly. Stand tall. Make eye contact. And just be you.
And the way to get away from the imposter syndrome is just what Barry said. Just be you.
Yeah.
And just align with your purpose and know what your purpose is. And then you don't have to be so much in your head and comparing and in the ego. You either operate from ego or you operate from heart. And if you operate from your heart, then you're just being you, and you're going to be very successful.
Can you have a heart go?
Have a what?
A heart go? Like heart and ego both?
A heart go.
Go.
Yeah, I think it's healthy to have, we all have ego, right? That's what keeps us sharp and competitive and having those goals.
I absolutely had an ego, a really big one way back in the day, right?
We go through those cycles.
As I've progressed through my management career and stuff like that, I've really learned it's a team effort. I didn't get here all by myself. Yeah, it's not. And that's part of the problem with the syndrome here too as well, is because a lot of people like me will say, oh, it's a team effort. I didn't do any of this.
Right.
So that's why I don't feel worthy, is because I didn't really do it. My team did it. But yet I'm getting all the glory and the credit for it. And guess what? Now I'm the CEO of the company and they're not.
Right.
But they're the ones that did it. So
they helped you, right?
They helped you, but guess what? You managed them, you guided them, you actually spearheaded that project to get to where it needed to be. So don't discount yourself.
Right, exactly.
All right, well, that wraps everything up for this episode.
Hopefully that was a fun one for all of you. We just keep it real and fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Definitely so. Just remember that the imposter syndrome is a common experience. Everybody's got
It
it.
happens every day.
It does. Try not to let it hold you back.
Exactly. Have
So-
a great day, you guys.
Yes, definitely have a great day. And before we go, don't forget, you can definitely reach out to us on
The Biz Show.
the
through
Biz Show on Facebook. And
Instagram.
yes.
Barry and Lisa.
Barry and Lisa, and at investquire.com, right?
See you guys soon.
All right, guys. Bye.